You know what? I just ended my stream watching WrestleMania, and I'm still sitting here in a row because I'm kind of cold, but the way these greens is working with my lights, it's not the crisp in the world, but we're here now. Listen, this match, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Did this match give you guys what it is that you wanted from it? Did it help with WrestleMania? How'd you guys feel about WrestleMania? Where I was on WrestleMania, and it's not a review of WrestleMania, I just want to talk about this match, but I was kind of 50-50 on how I felt about WrestleMania going into this match. I was like kind of middle of the road with the delivery of it. Some of the matches were really good. But then they had a couple of stinkers. So I said, man, can this last match provide what it is that I want? What it is that I'm looking for to save WrestleMania and make it a good night one of WrestleMania? And I think that the match was pretty good. The match was good, and it did what a lot of us thought that it would do. If you go to my prediction video, Paul Heyman turned on both Reigns and Punk and joined with Rollins. In my prediction, I thought that maybe Heyman would turn on them and like Seth would set him free, but it looks like he'll be joining his side at least for a bit. And this could play a bit into The Rock and night 2 with John Cena. It could play into that. Or maybe we don't need The Rock for night 2, but the whole best for business line was the thing that gave it away. And maybe you just have Heyman and Seth join with Cena, right? Because as I looked at this, I said, man, when Paul Heyman turned on Reigns, I said, oh God, he's going to need top flight security. However, if he's side by side with Seth, Cena, and The Rock, and oh my God, the juggernaut that is Travis Scott, oh, he don't need much security. He's good to go. I do like the way that this played out, even though it was obvious. They did well with how they structured the match, how they structured the turns, the twists and turns, just how everything was structured. It played out perfectly. Paul Heyman did what Paul Heyman has always done, dating back to ECW. When somebody's hot, he's on the train. When that train's on the decline, he gets off and finds the next hottest thing moving. That's what he did with Seth. Seth is hot right now. Even before this night, I've been saying it. Seth has been doing the best work that he's ever done in his career. Seth has been doing it. From his promo work to his ring work. Well, his ring work isn't as good as it was years ago. I mean, granted, he's no longer in his prime. But his promo is going to carry him for another few years. A lot of people could get by in their promo and turn down their work, especially when they get older. You don't have to work as hard as long as you can continue to talk people into the building. And you get with guys that can do the heavy lifting for you. Seth's going to continue to work. It's in his nature. That's what he does. He works. But he doesn't have to work as hard anymore. Now that he's with Paul Heyman, he can work smarter and not harder. Where do we go from here? Roman now has nothing. Jey Uso has now surpassed him. Come on. You know what I mean. Talking about in storyline, the stories that they have laid out for us. Jey Uso at this moment has ascended Roman because now Jey Uso is the champion. Roman has nothing. He's lost everything. Everybody he always puts his trust in turns their back on him. He can't catch a break. He's losing matches left and right. They've nerfed him. What we gonna do here? Do we have a Roman redemption arc? Is the question. Do we get a Roman redemption arc? Seth is on a different brand. He can't even really go after Seth. However, at some point, we still do need to get Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins shooting the ones at a WrestleMania. But on the other end, we still... Is this how we get to Roman and Rock? This might be how we get to Roman and Rock. Because if this entire... Listen here. I was saying this on my stream. The question has always been, because like, well, how do you go from Paul Heyman and Seth to Rock? How do you get there, right? The question that I've always wondered, the question I've always asked, and I said it in videos, how does Paul Heyman have the authority or the power to make this triple threat that means nothing a main event? And to me, it was always simple. I said this months ago when I said CM Punk's deal with, or CM Punk's favor with Paul Heyman is a deal with the devil, The Rock. It was plain as day to me. How can Paul Heyman give CM Punk anything? He wants the main event. How could Paul Heyman give him that? Paul Heyman and The Rock never had crossed tides in a bad way. They never split. The Rock was bloodline. He always put his ones up. So even when WrestleMania ended last year, there was no split between him and Heyman. There was no bad blood there. So he could always reach out to The Rock, and The Rock probably granted him that main event. But you know what The Rock wants? He wants souls. I also made another video about Seth Rollins selling his soul. Y'all remember that? That was also a couple of months ago. I call these things in advance, baby. All you got to do is watch me. That's all you got to do. And we got exactly what I said. Seth is going to sell his soul. Why? Because no matter what Seth did, Seth broke his back for this company, but he always felt like the bridesmaid. If you listen, oh, Cena's promo makes even more sense. There's so many layers. There's so many layers. John Cena said to Cody Rhodes, there's going to come a time where you'll have a chance to win, but it's going to cost you the fans. Are you going to sacrifice the fans in order to take the win? Or will you sacrifice the win in order to continue on with the fans? Tonight, Seth Rollins did exactly what John Cena said he should do. John Cena said, at Elimination Chamber, I felt like there was no way possible that I can beat you, Cody. But it was the moment that you turned down The Rock's offer that I knew you was fooled. Seth Rollins did exactly what John Cena said to Cody. Maybe just like The Rock's offer wasn't really for Cody, it was for Cena, is the exact same way that maybe Cena's promo wasn't for Cody. It was for Seth. Which puts all of this under a nice umbrella of why all of them can be together. And that's where you can get your redemption arc from Roman. I think that this is a very, very interesting layer, if I'm right. I may be reading into it too much. I could be wrong. I doubt that I'm wrong. But I thought that this was a pretty dope ending. It went the way a lot of people predicted, but they didn't predict, or they didn't all put together the why. And I've been telling you guys the why for months. And we got it. And now it's time for the next part of the show, of the story, of the series, of the extravaganza. Hope you guys enjoyed. We're going to cut this video short. Damn, I was talking for 10 minutes? Good Lord, that's a lot of money.